Dr. C. I am so happy to see you and that you took the time to come on this beautiful Sunday evening. It's a joy to be here, and I'm thankful that you're going to share this evening with me. Now, our subject and our topic conversation for tonight is in the nick of time. In the nick of time. I want you all to think about that, in the nick of time. And maybe you would like to share what that in the nick of time means to you. And my grandkids asked me earlier last week, what is that? What is in the nick of time? And the nick of time is an idiom, which is a phrase or expression that carries a non-literal meaning rather than making any literal sense, such as like when pigs fly. We know that pigs doesn't fly, right? But in the nick of time, I can personally know and experience in the nick of time. So we're going to do that conversation on in the nick of time. And we're talking about not our time, not our timing, but God's time and God's timing. You know, when we become impatient, and I know I become impatient because of circumstances that I cannot control. I have no control over it. I become impatient when it seems like everything is falling apart, such as when money runs out. Maybe you've never been there. When money runs out. And when money runs out, sometimes friends and family members run out. We run out of strength. And sometimes we feel like, there's no hope because we don't have the strength. And there comes a time when you're frustrated. because doors often close, doors shut when we need doors to be open. And there's come a time when you're overwhelmed. You're overwhelmed, not knowing what to do or how to do it. Desperate. There'll come a time when you're on the edge of desperation. There becomes a time when a perilous time or a painful time. Sometimes we're in a painful place. And this time it looks like, when there's no way out. There's no time left. There's no time to turn it around. Have you ever been in that place? Have you ever been in that space? But even though we're in that perilous time, God always comes to our rescue. And he comes just in the nick of time. Time, in the nick of time. At the spare moment, the very minute when we feel like we're at a deep end to whatever's going on. And finally, those problems that seems unsolvable are now a part of your testimony in the nick of time. In the nick of time, a testimony of faithfulness of the goodness of God. And you know what? God made a promise. He made us a promise that he will not leave us. He will not let you be tempted beyond what you can bear. But when you are tempted, that word tempted also mean tested. Tested. Have you been there? Have you been there? I've been there many times. Do you know he will provide a way out so that you can stand against the evil spirits that attacks you? Those evil spirits that some evil demonic spirit that come for you. But in the nick of time, I want you to remember that God will rescue you. Why? Because he loves you and because God never fails. He never fails. Yes, he will change the situation that you are facing today. If you hold on and trust God. If you hold on and don't give up, in the nick of time, a change will come. In the nick of time. Do you believe that? In the nick of time, your change will come. Now, I'm going to open up for those of you who would like to share, in the nick of time, what in the nick of time mean to you. If you would like to share, we're going to open up the mic so that we can hear you. Is there one who would like to share in the nick of time and what it means to you? We're not live. We're only recording. And guess what? There's only family members on tonight. I chose to do it this way so that we can feel free to share in the nick of time. If you ever been at your lowest moment, if it seems like you're at the end of your rope and something miraculous happened to you or to someone that you know, if you would like to share, you may share now. No one
I
would
can
like to
share.
share? Go ahead. Who's speaking?
This is Marie.
Go ahead, Marie. Marie and the baby. Go
and
ahead.
company and company.
And he's and
um,
he wants to share.
he does.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I I can think about when I was trying to trying to see how I could continue my studies. I had taken out loans, ran out of scholarship money, and I had I was being contacted by like Bursar's office and couldn't figure out how I was gonna stay in. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but a professor of mine, Dr. Yvonne Jones, she some kind of way pulled some strings and allowed me to pull some money out of somewhere, which allowed me to
Mm-hmm.
continue my studies. I did end up leaving, but I stayed. If I hadn't have stayed as long as I did, I I wouldn't have this baby or the other babies or the life that
Yeah.
I have
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm.
now. So
So she
it
stepped
was
in the nick of time,
it was definitely a
and
nick of
you were
time
blessed.
moment.
You were blessed with the benefits that you needed to stay in school.
Absolutely, and it's kind of building on the um previous get together that we had last week and talking about
Mm-hmm.
not giving up because I
Yes.
was ready to give up.
Yes. Yes. You were ready to give up, but you did not give up. You stayed in the race. Am I right?
Yes, yeah.
That was a blessing when one of your instructors saw something in you to encourage you and found the money, and that's what you're talking about, finance, that you needed in order for you to hang in there until you decided what you were going to do with the rest of your life at that particular university. So that's a testimony. And I'm sure we all have a testimony. You know, we all have I know I have a testimony because I know that, you know, things coming up, you know, from a child to where I am now hasn't always been easy. And when we think that it's the end of a situation, when we feel like we have lost all hope and we get hysterical. We feel like that God has left us, and we feel like, where is this blessing going to come from? And that goes back to our subject on the second Sunday. You can't give up. You can't give up on God. You can't give up on yourself, because in the nick of time, when it feel like everything is just coming to the end, you're at the end of your rope. But God will throw your rope when you feel like, well, I don't have any food to eat. No food in the refrigerator, no food on the table, no food to feed my family. There's a knock on the door. Suddenly, there's a knock on the door. Someone that you haven't seen in a long time would knock on your door and bring what you need in the nick of time. Or when the doctor said there is no hope, we can't do anything else for you. We've done all that we could do. But in the nick of time, that situation changed. And you're still here. You may not know how, but you know God blessed you with whatever you need at that particular time. Is there another who would like to share? Maybe you have a testimony. If you don't have a testimony, if you don't want to share, that's quite all right, because I have many testimonies. And I remember when I had an injury with my right hand, and I could not open that hand for years. You would say that I walked around with a club hand. But I remember going into a service with some older women, old enough to be my grandmother, my sister, and I. And at that particular time, the spirit was so high in there. And I went there looking for a miracle, not knowing how that miracle was going to happen. But when I walked in that place, my hand opened in the nick of time, because I did not want to continue to have a club hand. I did not want to. But it was God's timing. The doctors gave up, but my spirit man did not give up. And in the nick of time, and I'm still able to use this hand. I'm still able to wave my hand in the nick of time. But see, in the nick of time may be different for you. But God will rescue you when you're at the verge of giving up. But you shouldn't give up, because that nick of time is right around the corner. And I am excited that I am able to use my hand, to use both of my hands because I'm a right-handed person, and I could not feed myself with this right hand. I couldn't unbutton my clothes. But in the nick of time, my circumstance changed. What are you facing today? Are you facing a situation where you're at the end of your rope? You feel like you're at the end. Are you? Are you? Is there anyone else who would like to share? You don't want to share, so I guess we're not going to be on here very long. Family, we're not going to be here too long. In the nick of time.
Hello.
Oh, go ahead.
Okay, I just have a quick story to go with the title. In the nick of time, when I was younger, I remember when I had my first apartment, I used to travel from Hammond to Covington or Hammond to like Slidell and vice versa. And one time I was trying to, I probably needed money and I was going to the pawn shop and I was going to pawn something that I didn't really want to pawn, but the circumstances, it was, you know how young people are, broke.
Yep.
So I went to the pawn shop, and as soon as I went and I opened my door and I looked down, I saw like $100, and I just picked it up and I got back in my car and went home because I didn't need much, but I didn't pawn my whatever I was going to pawn. I think it was a piece of jewelry or something, and this was years ago, so it's not like that anymore. But yeah, that's my in the nick of time story.
And that is a blessing in the nick of time, because you really wanted a piece of jewelry, but when you step out of your car and you look down, I don't know if you normally look down when you walk or whatever, but you look down, and when you look down, that blessing was right there. And that is in the nick of time. Thank you, Jasmine.
Mm-hmm.
Anyone else? I see Joe, Marie, Carl, Angbanu. I did see Beanie, but I don't know if Beanie's still on there. But I'm not calling anyone out, but I'm just saying who's on the line, and it's only family members. Now, in the nick of time, okay, I see anyone else, because I'm not gonna record this and put it on YouTube, because it's too much gap in between, and I'm talking to family, so I'm gonna talk to you. Okay, so in the nick of time, when we have a testimony, you have to understand what that in the nick of time really means. And I've had many in the nick of time. I'm going through in the nick of time right now. But I know that my in the nick of time is right here and right now. God is continuing to bless in spite of what I'm going through, of what I've been through. I know that God still steps in the nick of time. You know, when you say time, what does the word time mean to you? Is that word time, is that saying that is that time is final? We're in the midst of a breakthrough, or that time is we're never going to get to where we're going because we're stuck in time. What is that time? Time can mean many things. In the nick of time.
I'll tell my story.
Go
Can you
ahead.
hear? Oh,
I can
okay.
hear.
When I was moving, and it was just me, and at first, and I was like, man, how am I going to do all this stuff? And so I started moving little by little in my car, what I
Mm-hmm.
can carry, which wasn't very much. I said, it will take me from now to kingdom come. I didn't know how I was going to get it done, but I had to start. So I started. And then during the middle of the moving, like a couple of weeks later, looked
Mm-hmm.
like everybody came to my rescue, my friends and my family. And
All right.
without them, I could have never got this done.
By
And
yourself.
I never would. And I was just going in circles because I didn't know what to do. And
Mm-hmm.
so they came to my rescue, and I know there was nobody but God that sent them to help me. And
Because
that's
you
my
needed
test.
it.
I needed the help. And that's one of my testimonies right there.
And
And
that is a beautiful testimony because, yes, you needed help to
yes,
move and to pick up. You have heavy furniture and this, that, and other. So,
right.
yes,
And
you
I had
needed
no
the help.
money. And I
And
had no
no
money.
money. The money had ran out.
Yes, yes.
Been there, done
So
that. The money ran out.
so I was very thankful.
Wonderful.
Hmm.
Beautiful, beautiful testimony. That's a testimony.
It is
You know, I, go ahead.
because I kept doing this. Well, not kept doing the same thing, but I had been through this once before, and I was like, and it happened before that too. They came to my rescue, my friends and my
Mm-hmm,
family, and I
mm-hmm,
couldn't believe that I was going through the same thing. I said, how could this be? And
mm-hmm,
so, but sure enough, they came, and that told me that God sent them, and that they loved
mm-hmm.
me, and God loved me too.
And guess what? You didn't know they were coming, did you?
No, I figured they was sick of me from the first move I did years ago. And so,
Uh-huh.
but they came to my rescue, and I was so thankful.
Well,
Without them, I couldn't have done it.
that's wonderful. That's wonderful. When I said earlier that most of the time and some of the time when money runs out, like if you used to having money and you no longer have money. When you have money, you have a lot of friends sometimes. But when
Yeah,
that money in that situation, uh, is no longer there,
right.
people will, they don't want to be around you. They don't want to be bothered with you.
No,
They know how you used to live. And
right.
in their mind, something is really going on. You're not living like that anymore. You don't have this, you don't have that to give me, blah, blah, blah. But when you really need a helping hand, when you really need something, God would
Yep,
always send help
yep. And they didn't
if
ask
you
me
hold
for a
on.
penny. And they
Huh?
didn't ask me for a penny.
And they didn't ask you for a penny. That was
And
nothing but
wasn't
God.
expecting anything. They did it out the kindness and the love in their heart.
Wonderful. So you do know that you are loved.
Yeah,
Yep,
yeah,
you know that you love. That's
yeah.
beautiful. That's beautiful. And that problem, when we give, and I got to go back to this. When we give up, when we give up and we feel like there's no hope, we feel like that, no one loves us, they don't care for us, and that sometimes it knocks people into a deep depression, you know, and that's not a good thing when we know that we're going through these trials and we're going through these tribulations, we're going through a perilous time, but we don't need to forget that there is power in the tongue. Many times at the nick of time, if you just close your mouth and say, well, I just give up because there is no hope. I don't have nothing. I'm not going to get nothing. Don't nobody love me. Don't nobody care for me. So I'm just going to stay in this house and I'm not going out. Do you know that there are people that literally stay inside and would not go out? Would not go outside their home. You may not believe this, but there are people that literally would not go outside their home. They rather stay in that home, stay inside. And if someone comes to the door, they're gonna peep out and see who it is, but they're not gonna open their door. They will not step foot outside the door. And I knew a person like that. Because the nick of time was at that door, but they would not open the door. So when that nick of time come and you refuse to open the door so that that change will come, who do you blame? What do you think about that? When that help comes and you refuse to accept the help, you refuse to open the door, how do you deal with that? Anyone would like to answer that? Maybe you all have never heard of a situation like that. When a door closed and in the nick of time, a door opened. You don't know how that opening of the door is going to manifest. Am I right? Do you stay inside and keep the door closed and refuse to go out or refuse to allow the blessing to come in? What do? Or do you just give up and say, my change will never come? I'm going to stay right here because I know that change will not come. Or you don't believe in the nick of time. Or you think, well, in the nick of time, just like what you said earlier, when pigs fly. We know pigs don't fly. But what I do know that there is a nick of time in the nick of time, just in the nick of time. I do believe in just in the nick of time because I know that God is still God. And I know and I believe that if we keep the faith and we trust God, He will come to your rescue in the nick of time.
I have a nick in the nick of time. I had this situation that happened last week, and I began to panic. But then I had to turn around and say, "I can do this. I can do this." So I called on some help, and they came to help me with the situation. And then we took care of it until someone else came to take over just in the nick of time. And I know that the Lord sent his angels and they were camped all around us to reverse that nick of time moment that we was having. And we thank God and we praise him because he stepped in right on time.
Beautiful testimony because he is on time. And God is the nick of time. It's his timing, not our timing, but it's his timing. And that's a beautiful testimony. Beautiful testimony that God will send the necessary people or send whatever you need in the nick of time to turn around in a situation that you may be facing at that particular time. Because he is an on-time God. And I believe that he is an on-time God. In the nick of time. Whatever your in the nick of time may be, well, if you trust in yourself and you trust God and you don't give up, don't feel like there is no hope. Don't feel like, oh, this is it. This is it. No, it's not it. Because if you keep the faith and keep trusting and believing and know that in the nick of time, just in the nick of time, when everybody done turned their back on you, God will send you new friends, new family members who will step up and be that in the nick of time. And I believe that. Anyone else with a testimony? Anyone else with a testimony? How God rescued you?
I have something to say.
Go ahead.
The more I think about it, the more let's believe that life that I've had, other than the one that I shared, but it's almost like with each one, and maybe this will help answer the questions that the girls asked. It's like it's some kind of experience that you have, some kind of transformative experience that strengthens your convictions, and almost, I don't know, you feel more connected to, you know, to God, connected to your loved ones. It just strengthens that moment for you.
Yes. It gives you the strength. It strengthened that moment. Beautiful. It strengthened that moment. Because at that very moment, you may be really in a desperate, you terrified. You you be at like you think you're losing your mind, but finally you get a hold of your thoughts. You're able to think better. All that anxiety and fear lighten up, and sometimes when we get in a certain state of mind, we can't think. And then if we're in a painful place in this heart, when you're in a painful situation, sometime when there's disconnection with whatever situation or whomever that's that you're involved with or whatever. But when you in that situation, I believe that change will come if we only slow down, take a breath, and listen to the spirit within us. You know what I mean? That spirit within us. Sometimes it's your mind that's speaking, your conscious speaking to you, telling you it's not over. I mean, don't just say it's over. Well, I don't have time. I don't have time. But you can't say you don't have time. Because if you say you don't have time to recover, or you don't have time to accept the fullness, the blessings that's coming your way. Because you may say, well, it's taking too long. Well, It's going to come if you don't give up. Just in the nick of time, it's going to come. The change is going to come. The change will take place. When we calm down and really look at the situation, examine it. And when you think about it, you say, well, I was just about ready to throw in the towels. I was just about ready to give up. But when you think like that, that is that negative spirit that's speaking to you, saying that, you might as well just give up because, nobody's coming to your rescue. Nobody's going to help you. Nobody's going to feed you. Nobody's going to do this, do that. But that door opens. Someone called and said, you know what? I read and I saw this, that they're looking for someone to work. And that fits your qualification. All you have to do is go there and speak with such and such and such and such. And you never thought that that person would come to you and tell you there's a door open. And all you have to do is go there and speak with that individual in the nick of time. I don't believe that God will allow his people to suffer in vain, to go hungry, to go without, because he has given us the ability to do what we need to do and wait on him for instruction. Because if you listen, you will hear that small voice. It may not be a voice that's speaking like I'm speaking, but if you open up the book, any book, you may see one word that's going to speak out to you. Or you may turn on the television and just in the nick of time, you hear one word that speak out to you. If you listen. That door that was shut and you thought it was closed forever, that door that which is a blessing. We're not talking about a negative door. We're talking about a blessing. I believe in the nick of time, all the blessings will overflow in the nick of time. Is there anyone else before we close out? Because we're going to be closing in a few. Is anyone else on here? Because we're family. No one else is on here but family. Anyone want to speak before we close? If no one else is on that want to elaborate, whatever, we're going to close early tonight because this is just a trial. I felt the need to come on and to allow family who would like to speak and share. And if you have a subject or a topic that you would like to discuss on the next podcast, because the next podcast, I believe that we're still going to record, but we're not going to go live. So the next podcast, if you have any titles, any subjects that you would like to share or you would like for us to speak on, send me a text and we will discuss whatever that you send that to us. Okay. Now, anyone else would like to speak? If that's a no, I want to say thank you all for joining in. Enjoy the rest of your evening. And remember to, I think you can, share with others, share with others, and which we're not going to put this on YouTube, but we're going to resume on the second Sunday at 5 o'clock our time. And California time is 3. So the people that's on here at this particular time is California and Louisiana. So may God continue to bless you and keep you. I love you and see you next time. God be with you.